Alright, so in today's video, let's talk about a topic that's dividing the Zenlesszonezero community, why a lot of players are actually skipping Lucia, even though she looks incredible on paper. Lucia's been one of the most anticipated characters of version 2.3, but once people started testing her, opinions got complicated. She can be insanely strong, but she's also one of the most demanding supports we've ever seen. So, in this video, I want to break down the real reasons some players are passing on her banner, explain what she does right, what holds her back, and when it actually makes sense to pull. If you want to save up to 23% on your Zenlesszonezero top-ups, check out lootbar.gg. Here you can buy 3,280 monochromes for only $39, while it's $50 in-game. So this way you're saving $11 on Loot Bar. I just entered my UID, picked my server, no password needed. And just like that, the monochromes appeared on my account. And look, I still got the first-time double bonus, same as with the in-game top-up. Loot Bar has over 20,000 positive reviews on Trustpilot and more than 90,000 positive user reviews across Hoyoverse games. I've been using it for over a year now, even for my giveaways, so I can personally recommend it. New users also get an extra 10% off coupon, so click the link in the description and start saving today. First off, for anyone who hasn't looked into her yet, Lucia is an S-rank support from Spook Shack who specializes in ether-type buffs, healing, and general team amplification. At Manifestation 0, her kit sounds simple enough. She increases the whole team's maximum HP by 5%, gives a 20% damage bonus, and adds 30% critical damage if your team includes a stun or rupture agent. Those are very respectable baseline buffs, but they're only half of the story. Her power actually comes from a mechanic called Sheer Force, which scales directly with her maximum HP. Every 200 HP adds 1 point of sheer force, up to a hard cap of 900 once she reaches around 24,000 HP. That number matters because below 23,000 HP, you start losing noticeable buff value, and that's where many players start to hesitate. Reaching 24,000 horsepower isn't easy unless you have excellent drive discs and substats dedicated purely to horsepower. Without that, Lucia's supposed big buffs feel underwhelming, and you end up wondering why you didn't just keep using Astra. Now you can fix that problem if you also pull her signature W engine, the Dreamlit Hearth. It gives 15% max HP and 25% damage bonus at rank 1, scaling all the way to 29% HP and 40% damage bonus at rank 2-5. That pushes her comfortably into the 24,000 horsepower range and unlocks her full 900 sheer force cap. But it also means her performance is heavily tied to having her signature weapon. Without it, you're forced to compensate with perfect HP rolls, which most players simply don't have. So while she's amazing with her weapon, she's far less consistent without it. And that's a big reason many players are skipping her for now. The obvious budget alternative is Weeping Cradle, the standard SRAN-W engine that gives a ramping damage bonus from 10 to 20%. On paper it looks solid, but it relies on Lucia's Aftershock mechanic, which only triggers once every 8 seconds while she's in dream state. That means the buff keeps dropping off between procs, and in real combat, the uptime just isn't reliable. Testers measured about a 16% average loss in damage bonus compared to Dreamlit Hearth, narrowing to roughly 11% only during the short peak when the buff is fully ramped. In other words, it's fine, but not stable. There's also the Unfettered Game Ball from the Battle Pass, which gives 20% critical rate against ether-weak enemies. It can be great in specific fights, but if the enemy isn't weak to ether, that entire passive disappears, forcing you to retune your crit ratios between bosses. Most players don't want that kind of micromanagement on a support. Even if you do get the right engine, Lucia isn't exactly low maintenance. Her gameplay revolves around managing a special attack meter, which fuels her dream state and her buffs. You fill it by doing certain actions. 40 points from the last hit of her basic combo, 20 from counters or non-energy specials, 60 from her EX special when you spend energy, and a full 100 from her ultimate or chain attack. It sounds fine in theory, but in practice it means she needs constant meter management to keep her buffs flowing. When she's in dream state, she automatically triggers Aftershock every 8 seconds, spawning ether projectiles that extend her buffs. If your energy generation or timing is off, those aftershocks desync and her uptime drops. You can patch that by doing a full basic combo after dream state. The 40 meter from that, plus her EX special refills the gauge. But that kind of rotation isn't for everyone, and then there's the cost. Lucia is resource hungry. You really want her EX special attack at level 12 to unlock the full 900 sheer force cap, and both her ultimate and chain attack for their healing and damage scaling. Even her basic and assist skills matter, because her Aftershock can randomly pick from those categories. That means building her eats up more skill materials than most supports. On top of that, you need strong drive discs, ideally HP percent, critical rate, critical damage, and maybe energy regeneration as a luxury. For many free-to-play or early game accounts, that investment just isn't realistic right now. Let's talk about Team Fit, because that's another reason people skip her. Lucia's buffs are multiplicative. They shine when paired with carries who can truly capitalize on them, like Yi Xuan or Rupture-oriented teams. She's also amazing with Ju Fufu, especially if you unlock Manifestation 1. At M1, Lucia adds 18% resistance penetration and 5% decibel generation for the whole team, which speeds up chain attacks and makes everyone hit harder. But again, that means you need both M1 Lucia and specific partners to fully use her potential. If you don't have those pieces yet, she's probably overkill for your roster. Now, let's be fair. When everything comes together, high HP, dreamlit hearth, proper rotation timing, Lucia is incredible. Early testing showed she provides roughly 34% higher total buffing value than Astra with her own signature engine. She adds sustain through healing zones from her ultimate and brings overall durability by scaling with max HP instead of attack. She's a monster in well-built endgame teams. But the key word here is well-built. She's not plug-and-play. For anyone still determined to build her, her best setup uses a 4-piece Moonlight Lullaby to maintain sheer force uptime every 25 seconds. If you're short on HP or energy, you can go 2 Yunquei Tails for HP or 2 Swing Jazz for 20% energy regeneration. Testing shows slot 4 critical damage beats, HP percent, slot 5 ether damage slightly edges HP percent, but they're close, and slot 6 HP percent remains best overall. So when does it make sense to skip Lucia? If you can't reach around 24,000 horsepower without sacrificing your sanity, don't plan to pull Dreamlit Hearth, don't have Yi Xuan or Ju Fufu to take advantage of her buffs, or just don't like micromanaging rotations, skipping is absolutely valid. You'll still have Astra, who offers steady, low-effort attack buffs with consistent uptime. But if you enjoy optimization, if you already have the gear and teammates ready, Lucia will reward that effort with some of the strongest buffs in the game. Personally, I see her as a luxury unit. She's not a must-pull, but she can redefine your teams if you build around her. She's the kind of character who rewards planning and punishes half-builds. And that's why players are split. It's not about power, it's about investment. So what about you? Are you pulling for Lucia or skipping until her rerun? Let me know down below. I'm curious how many people think she's worth the grind. And if you want more realistic breakdowns like this, focusing on who to pull and who to skip, don't forget to subscribe for more Zenless Zone 0 2.3 guides and theory crafts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Save up to 23% on the current banners at lootbar.gg. Just enter your UID and server. The link is in the description.